Y'all ain't gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm about to say it anyways. The resources for young mothers are running out. Housing, Section 8, HUD, all that is supposed to be a stepping stone. It's no way in hell that you OG veterans still getting housing 10, 20, 30, 40 years later. You mean to tell me out of all this time you can get your shit together? Young mothers are having it hard. Like, you OGs, let it go. Let it go. Give the young mother something. Y'all got that shit back in the 90s and just don't want to let it go. Y'all got comfortable. Too comfortable. And don't y'all try to come for me, because for one, I don't got kids. And this video is not for those with a disability, those who can't work due to like health reasons or whatever. This video was for perfectly fine human beings who just sit at home, collect Section 8, collect housing, and been doing it for years. Let it go.
Getting kicked out at 18 is something people talk about like it is a normal lesson in adulthood. But for the people who actually lived it, it often felt less like freedom and more like abandonment. One day, you are still a teenager, still figuring out who you are, still learning how money works, how bills work, how the world works, and then suddenly, you are expected to survive like an adult with no real preparation. People are venting because they remember that fear. The fear of not knowing where to sleep, the fear of trying to find a job fast, the fear of asking friends for help, the fear of acting strong while secretly feeling unwanted by the people who were supposed to protect them. And what hurts is how many parents justify it by saying, "You're grown now." But 18 does not magically give someone wisdom, stability, savings, housing, transportation, emotional maturity, or a plan. It is just an age. And for a lot of people, being kicked out that young did not make them stronger at first. It made them scared. It made them desperate. It made them grow up too fast in survival mode, carrying a pain they were too young to explain.
Hey guys, so this is a get ready with me to get kicked out on my 18th birthday. So basically this is just going to be a story time of what happened on my 18th birthday and why I got kicked out. So me and my boyfriend has been planning a getaway for a while now. And because I live in a very toxic household, and my boyfriend just wanted me to get away, just wanted me to have a nice time. And he asked me permission first. He was like, "Are you going to be able to go out on your 18th birthday and stay out overnight for 2 days?" I told him yes. So at this point, it's my 18th birthday. I already knew I was going to get in trouble. I already knew stuff was going to happen. But at this point, I'm 18. I don't care. I just want to have fun and do my own thing. So before I walk out the house, my grandma was like, "Oh, if you don't come back tonight, then you're getting kicked out. You're never gonna come back ever again. Da-da-da," just calling me a big ass liar, just doing all this other stuff. So I still walk out. I still leave because I'm not letting this ruin. My boyfriend spent like almost $1,000 something just on this place alone, plus gifts. No, so I went for 2 days. Was crying the whole time, but I had an amazing time. We went to the lavender farm retreat. It was super nice. We stayed on a farm. It was a bunch of dogs. And I enjoyed myself. So, thank you.
Now, I don't remember the name of the creator, but the other day I saw a video of a woman talking about the trauma of being kicked out of your house after turning 18. She said that after she turned 18, she was given about 30 days to get out of the house. And as a person that's been on their own since they were about 17, I could really relate to that video. Now, I never understood why parents do this. It's such a disservice to your child. You are putting them out in the world with no tools to survive, and you could be putting their lives in danger, and you're also setting them up for failure. My situation was a little bit different. Ironically, I didn't move out of the house. My mom moved out of the house. Yeah, you heard what I said. My senior year of high school, my mom moved out. She packed up her shit, she moved in with her man, and she pretty much just abandoned us. Now, this happened a really long time ago, so I can't remember all of the details, but I do know eventually the authorities got involved and they were like, "Yeah, this is not appropriate behavior for a mother," and she lost custody of my siblings. I was already about to turn 18, so they said to me, "You don't need to be involved in this, and I hope you have somewhere to go because shit is about to get real uncomfortable." My other siblings went to go live with family members, and I was sent to go live with my dad, but that did not work out at all. I was a really damaged teenager, and I had been through a lot. I needed intense therapy, and I don't think my dad really understood that. Me and him argued all the time, and he didn't have to tell me to get out. He made his house so uncomfortable, I practically ran out. So I gladly bought a one-way ticket and went back to Denver, and I lived with my boyfriend for about a year, and then we broke up. So I moved back into the empty house. My mom did not mind me living in the house by myself, but she did ask me to give her my entire paycheck because it turns out she wasn't paying any of the utilities and she was behind on that, and she wanted me to pay them if I wanted to live there. And I said, absolutely not. I'm going to save my money and I'm going to get my own shit. And that's exactly what I did. So now I'm 19. I have my own place. Everything's going well. But I still really needed a lot of guidance. And I just didn't have any adults in my life that I felt like I could trust and that I could go to. And this is where the bad decision making came in. Because when you're operating from a place of desperation, that little voice in your head that says, hey, maybe something isn't right, that voice gets quieter and quieter until you eventually don't have that anymore. One day I was at a Walmart and I got a bunch of stuff from my apartment. I was waiting at a bus stop and a pickup truck drove past me and asked me if I needed a ride home. And like an idiot, I got in the car. I had been told my entire life not to take rides from strangers. That is like the first lesson of life that you learn. I knew this to my core, but because I was so tired and just drained, I felt like I deserve a break, and I took a ride from a stranger, which was really not a smart thing to do. But again, I was 19 years old. Thank God he was kind. He said to me, you know what, I'm a father, I'm going to help you out, but please don't ever do this again. And that's when I realized I am truly too young to be doing all this. Like, I need an adult. I'm a child. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm making really bad decisions, and that could have been the last decision I ever made. So I called my dad and I said, hey, things are not working out. I want to go to school. There's things that I want to do, and I just can't do all of this on my own. And he said, of course, you can come back. We worked in our relationship, and now we're actually really close. All I know is my kids will never go through that. They can always count on me. I did not have my children to abandon them, and no matter what they're going through, they can always call me. And they can also live in my house for as long as they need to. Things are so hard nowadays. Why put your kids out before they're ready? I just don't believe in that, and I hope that as a parent, when my kids are older, I can do better and I can give them better than what I was given, so they won't have to experience the things that I did.
I was reading the comments on this video last night, right? And the topic was, putting your adult kids out. And there were a bunch of parents in the comment section saying, as soon as my kid turns 18, they're out of here. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, since when are 18-year-olds ready for the world? You know what I mean? Like, I remember our generation, my generation, I was born in 1964. That used to be a thing, especially in the Black community. It's like, as soon as you get 18, you getting the hell out of here. You grown. You are not grown at no damn 18. I mean, technically there are 4 lanes, right? You're either going to go to school, you're going to get a certification, you're going to work, or you're going to join the military. I don't know, y'all. I just wasn't that kind of parent. I wanted my kids to be ready for the world, so I helped them as much as I possibly could so that they can get out there and land on their own 2 feet. But to kick them out just because they reach a certain age, that just makes no sense. Anyway, love you, bye.
People are not going to agree, but I think it is the dumbest thing that just because your child turned 18, you think you are no longer responsible for them and you are ready to put them out of your house. Now, hear me out. At 18 years old, you are legally adults. I am no longer legally responsible for your choices. If I know in my heart of heart, as your mother, I have instilled all the morals, ethics, standards, I have given you the skills to be an adult, I am willing to allow you to go out into the world and enjoy, but still have my guidance and my support, right? But if you get to doing some foolishness, you are the one who has to suffer those consequences. And I am no longer responsible financially or legally because you grown, right? But if my children turn 18, they are staying in the home with me. I want them to go to school, get a trade, start a business, just work a regular job. Whatever it is you want to do as an adult, go do it. I have no intentions of putting my children out just because they're 18 and I'm not responsible for you anymore. You're paying the same mortgage that you've been paying, the same utility bill that you've been paying. Give these kids a fighting chance. Let them stay at home until they're in their early 20s, mid 20s, so that they have an actual opportunity to put money aside, go to college or trade school with no stress, figure out what career field they want to work in. When we throw our kids out at 18, and we don't give them an opportunity to really discover who they are, they end up in jobs that they hate. They end up in relationships that mean them no good. They end up going to school just because they believe that's what's going to help them win, end up in debt to only quit the job later. Guys, think about where you were at 18. Did you know what you wanted? No. Can we please, as a community, stop doing that? Because that's why a lot of our children are failing, and then that affects our grandbabies. That's why y'all end up raising some of y'all's grandbabies, okay?
And when people who got kicked out at 18 talk about it, you can hear that it never really left them. Because it was not just about leaving home, it was about being pushed into the world before they had the tools to survive in it. A lot of them were still kids mentally. They did not know how to budget, rent an apartment, build credit, handle taxes, or even ask for help without feeling ashamed. But suddenly, they had to figure everything out while pretending they were okay. And that kind of pressure changes a person. Some people became independent, but only because they had no choice. Some became strong, but only after being terrified. Some learned how to survive, but also learned not to trust people who were supposed to love them. That is the part people do not talk about enough. Being kicked out at 18 can make someone feel like love has conditions. Like support disappears the moment they become inconvenient. Like their value in the home expired the second they became legally grown. And yes, some people make it out. Some build a better life. Some become everything they were told they could not be. But survival should not be confused with good parenting. Because forcing someone into the world with no foundation does not automatically teach responsibility. Sometimes it just teaches fear, loneliness, and trauma. And maybe that is why so many people are speaking up now. Because they are not weak for admitting it hurt. They are honest. And the truth is, turning 18 does not mean a child stops needing guidance. It just means the world starts expecting them to survive without it.
For the life of me, I cannot understand this type of thinking. So this person says, my 20-year-old daughter wants to move in with us until she finishes with college, which is pretty reasonable. She says she will pay the bills, but she is a grown adult. How do I tell her that adults leave the nest? Now, I've never gone through this myself, but I know people who have. And seriously, for parents who do this, what do you think miraculously happens when a child turns 18, 19, or 20 that makes them in a position that they are able to fully support themselves, especially in this economy, when you have rent prices for a one-bedroom at $1,800-$1,900, at least that's how it is where I live, two-bedroom, $2,000 plus a month. And I'm not saying that grown kids should stay home and not contribute. Every family is different, so you have to figure out what works for you. But we're talking about a 20-year-old who's in college trying to learn something so that she can support herself, and you're trying to push her out. And granted, we don't know this family, and there could be more going on here, but what I do know is that there are a lot of people who are so quick to push out their 18-year-old children for no reason other than the fact that they just turned 18.